Hello, Radiant Souls. I'm your host, Angela Ahimsa, and you've tuned into Feed Your Chakras, which is streaming worldwide on Jess TV, Roku, Meta, and the NCG television network. And today's very special guest is Guillaume McMartin, who is a messenger of peace, environmental visionary, the founder of the New Earth Collaboration and the New Earth Children's Foundation. From Firefighter to Earth Guardian, Giam's story reminds us that transformation begins the moment we listen to the quiet voice within, the one guiding us back to our purpose, to hope, and to harmony with all of creation. And in today's conversation, we will explore his incredible journey across Canada, the power of following divine guidance, and how the children of today are helping birth a new Earth. Thank you so much for joining me today, Giam.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Angela. I'm so blessed.
Yes. So you said that you were once a firefighter, and this caused you to lose all hope. Can you share what led you to that moment and what it was like hearing that inner voice for the first time?
Well, it's funny that I was a firefighter and then I became a firekeeper on my journey, like across Canada, when I lived with the Native communities. But as a firefighter, for 8 years, I was so excited about the job because I was like adrenaline seeker all my life, and I did extreme sports, and I was addicted to a little danger in my life. And then when I became a firefighter, I saw that I could do that to help people and save people. And I did that for 8 years. I was also a part-time firefighter in a small fire department, volunteer, and full-time in my job, in my career. And I loved it. But I did let people bully me or treat it because I was different. Since I was a child, I was always different. I was a dreamer, visionary, and rather than talking about hockey at the fire station, I prefer reading books, and I was a bit of a geek as well. So people bullied me. I was a smaller frame guy as well as a firefighter, and I let people bully me, but I realized now that I look back at it, I became the worst bully to myself. And after a few, many traumatic calls in a row during a summer that ended with where we lost a baby giving CPR, and it just became so hard, and I started not sleeping anymore. It was probably related to trauma or PTSD and as well as the bullying, but I became such a bully on myself, telling myself that I was a failure, that I was worth nothing. I started making mistakes on fire scenes, and I was heavily criticized for that, and it just got worse and worse up to the point where I just felt like I was worth nothing. I wanted to end my life. And I remember on that night when I was ready to give up, there was a voice in my heart that told me, you have a purpose and you have to go find it. And I'm just getting shivers right now because that voice saved my life. And that voice, I now believe is either an angel or God or the Great Spirit, or however you call this love energy that's around us. But that voice gave me another chance at life. And so I went on this journey that took many years to discover my purpose. I went to law school full time just to learn something else, and I didn't like it. I didn't like law school. I wanted to defend people that could not defend themselves, but it wasn't for me. And I remember taking one entrepreneurship class. There was a lunch and learn and free pizza, so of course I'm going. And then one of the teachers that was talking about internet businesses and law was a teacher from the business school at university. And I love what he was talking about. Entrepreneurship is about solving problems and making a living out of it. And I asked him after the lunch and learn, I said, can I go to your class? I'd love to attend. And he said, yeah, next Wednesday you can come to my class. It's called Business Ideation and Creation. And so I went there the next week. And after 2 hours sitting there listening and coming up with business ideas, I just realized this is what I want to do in my life. And like I was propelled into it. I didn't learn from university. I only took that 2-hour class, but I was learned by doing. And I was invited by friends at the time to Manitoba to go look for economic development on reserves with First Nations. It's been quite the journey. Within 7 days, we flew across the province in a private jet and look at like expanding a railroad and build like a airline company and buying a port and like doing business left and right. And like, I had no idea what I was doing, but it was like so empowering. And then I became led by my ego and my greed and my pride, because I was like thinking I was bigger than myself at the time. Finally, I thought I was worth something, and it got to my head. So yeah, that was the journey of how that voice saved me, which led me to do a lot of mistakes, but which led me where I am today.
Yeah, that's very profound. It's funny, there's a lot of overlap because I also am an athlete, and I thrive on adrenaline, and I'm also a fire dancer.
Wow.
The natives actually do it with hula hoops, and that was my first prop. I mastered the hula hoop. But yeah, it's also interesting because there was a time when I was severely off course too. And I had that inner voice that's like, you're better than this. Don't throw your life away.
Yeah.
You know, and I listened to it, and that it's just such a pivotal moment when you tune in. But a lot of people ignore that inner whisper. So what gave you the courage to follow it?
Well, at first, I mean, I was ready to let go of everything. So it was a choice. Like either I give up on my life, either I end my life right now, or I go for it. And that, like, that's another chance. And I decided to pick the other chance, luckily. Because if I had given up, then everything would have ended. And there's I know now there's a mission, there's a reason why I was meant to stay alive, and there's so much impact that I have done already in the world without really realizing it, and there's so much that I still want to do, and yeah, it was important that I listened to that voice in my heart. And I know that many of you out there, when your heart tells you something, you got to stop and listen, and you got to like you got to get out of your head sometimes and listen to your heart. Yeah.
You know, it's also funny because it's like, it just shows that we're so programmed. You know, you're feeling the heart's call, or like the higher call. And then it's like, oh, how do I do this? I want to help people. So you go to law, because that's us kind of existing within the matrix, where we think that this artificial structure, these man-made laws are it, because this is what we've been programmed to think. But then you found the resonance, you're like, wow, this doesn't resonate. But you know, here you are destined to be a new earth pioneer, and these laws don't apply there. It's the natural laws, that universal laws, right? And so that was also just you know, a frequency mismatch, because like I took law once too, because you know, I was in high school, I'm like, oh, I want a good job, and I was like, I took law for like a few classes, I'm like, I'm dropping out, like this is not me.
Yeah, you're right. I met an elder on my journey from Six Nations, and he told me about those natural laws, and like, it's so much more powerful than whatever man has created it, and like, we've tried to control society, control the world,
they just make sense.
The laws.
Like,
yeah, it's just simple and just do. Yeah, be and just be and be as humble as you can, and as caring and giving as you can, and just live in harmony with all of creation.
And be of service.
Yes.
Have that reciprocation with the divine order. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Okay, so for people who aren't familiar with New Earth, because you know, there are a lot of people out there that you know, this whole concept or paradigm, whatever it is foreign to them. What does that mean to you, and how do you wish this vision or to evolve, or this reality to manifest into the New Earth, your New Earth collaboration and foundation? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, it looks like for what it looks amazing, and it looks like an amazing place to be, and yet it's already here. And this is what I realize now. I spent a lot of years after I lost everything and went bankrupt. Like I told you, I let my ego and my greed and my pride lead me, and that led me to bankruptcy, because all I wanted to do was be this investor wearing a three-piece suit every day, and investing in startups and buying a franchise and buying real estate, and like I want more and more and more, and I was not giving it
insatiable needs of the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to be successful, like I had seen on TV, like, and I wanted to probably to make my dad proud. Like I probably had like a child's hurt from that. And then, while I was meditating in the forest, I opened my eyes and I saw trash in the creek. And this is when I started the Planet Karma movement, when I started picking it up for 2 years, where I met Wayne, our friend, that did the Echo movement, and how we all got connected together as well. But the more time I spent in the forest praying and meditating, the more time I started having vision of what humanity, how we should live in harmony with each other and all of creation, how this great abundance, this paradise that was all around me, the forest, was created beautifully and perfectly, yet people were disrespecting it by leaving trash in it, by cutting down like forests, while we could just build within, like in harmony with it. And so those visions started, and those visions started when I was a child as well, like when I was a dreamer and a visionary. But I was always told by people, like, you dream too big, like you're wrong, right? Like get into the system. And so those visions accentuated on my journey across Canada on my bicycle for 2 years, when I lived with the Native communities in Northern Ontario with the Anishinaabe people. And I was invited over my first sweat lodge on my birthday in 2021. And in the sweat lodge, I had visions of how humanity should be led by the children, because man have fought for thousands of years with each other for their pride and ego and greed. And now it was time to give the leadership to the children, because the children will lead us into a better world. And now I realized that this better world that I was seeing in the visions was the new earth. And because there's the old earth, where is the old energies, where everything is competing, and where I'm trying to
karmic ties and past ancestral traumas and everything passed down, and we're living in the past.
Yeah, we're stuck in that past. Yeah. In those old ways of like old men making like contracts and all.
Survival of the fittest, the competitive economy, like everything's slowing down progress because we're put against each other. And there's a quote that's like, the people at the top are collaborating, which is the perfect example of society. You know what I mean? You have like the 1%, and then we're all down here scrambling and fighting each other and trying to get enough or whatever it is.
Yeah. The only problem is that the people at the top are collaborating to keep us.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if we can change that in the new earth, where rather than competition, we see collaboration, and now everybody comes together
of the future.
Yeah, right? For the betterment of ourselves, but also for the betterment of all of humanity. Because when I lift you, like I lift myself as well, and rather than like I try to step on you so I can crush you, but then I stay down here while we can like all rise together.
Exactly.
And this is what humanity is all about. And we do that through the dreams of the children, because the children have so much wisdom and are so pure in their hearts.
And their love, like they haven't actually, they literally come and they're completely open vessels, you know, before their soft spot closes over, that's their open crown chakra. It's their portal. Like they're literally divine little angels. And in the 7 years when they're, developing the root chakra, that's when they're in that state of hypnosis and they absorb all these things, and we're imprinted with these like dogmas and beliefs and all these things that like carry on through our life. We have to unheal those 7 years. Imagine.
And it might take their whole life to heal them from that.
Or they don't even do it, and then they repeat the cycles, and it comes back
They come back another life and then start again and be stuck in that old earth energy. Yes. And this is why we want to work with the children now, why we created the Newer Children's Foundation.
The adults, man, they're so far off.
But I think through the children will save or let the adults come to the newer earth as well.
Actually, it's true. And it's so interesting because yours happened while you were in a sweat lodge, but I also traveled. I had kind of similar things, not in the same order or even examples, but a similar journey where I went traveling by myself. I didn't know why I was there. Yeah. But when I was there, that's when I was so open and I was getting downloads of New Earth. I didn't know what it was. And it was just it was regenerative. It was communities. It was all these things. And I was like, oh my God, do I have to make this? Because I saw it, right? Yeah. And then it shaped, I actually called myself Angela Argentina because I didn't want to forget my purpose. And then I realized now it's been 10 years, but I've been doing the work. I've been doing the healing, my lineage, all that stuff. But it's I'm not creating it. I'm collectively creating it. And so many people that are going to be, pioneers in this new earth too are my friends now because they're the ones doing the work. It's I saw it before. And so it is a collective thing, but definitely the children are kind of the key. The key to doing it all because they, parents are protective and responsive and respond to them with love, right? And so that's what the foundation of this is. It's the higher version. It's not like it's a different place, it's here, but we are all operating in our more elevated higher selves where we respond from love and compassion and we want to help people up. It's not an ego-driven thing. All that's lower third dimension stuff that we got to leave behind.
Yeah. That's so cool. And it's so cool that you talk about Argentina because I've made a lot of friends here in Tulum, Mexico from Argentina, such good people.
I love Mexico.
Yeah. and Argentina was where I was heading on my bike journey. So I was going to bike up to Yukon. That was my plan. And then from Yukon to Argentina, I was going to horseback. And follow the Andes and I thought that would take me 10, 12 years. And then a woman commented, just meeting everybody because for me, the journey was more important than the destination. Yeah. And but along that journey on my bike, somebody commented on my blog post. We commented back and forth, and then within 4 hours we were engaged. And then 2 months later, our baby Asna was announcing herself. So
yes, and he's referring to Selena, who was a guest here not that long ago. And also, you mentioned Wayne Newland, who he was the founder of Echo Movement, and he was also partners with Catherine, who was on the show a while ago. So it's just so interesting how everything back around.
And Catherine that you saw last week, and Catherine that's part of the Newer collaboration as well. And we just started the Newer podcast this week. We recorded our first pilot episode. So see how all of us are connected.
Yeah, we're the pioneers.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you talk about pioneers, so during my journey, so after, let's say a year after I did that sweat lodge, my first sweat lodge, I did many sweat lodge after that. And I did a fasting ceremony as well on top of Thunder Mountain. And that's called a vision quest by in the native communities as well. And so while I'm staying on that cliff, at the edge of a cliff on top of the mountain, overlooking a beautiful lake and the forest as far as the eye can see, a bit like in the beginning of Lion King. And that's where I decided to fast. And while I was there, while my spirit left my body, because essentially, while you're fasting, you don't drink water or
it's dry fasting.
Eat. Yeah, and so you essentially die, so your spirit leaves your body, and then you start having vision and talk to a doctor if you want to do a professional ceremony. But I was transported to see the planet from up there, to see the whole humanity. And then I traveled within the galaxy, and then I traveled to see the whole universe. And I remember feeling so small when I saw that, it made me kind of sick, because it was what am I to be there fasting and praying so that there's peace between all humanity and that we can live in harmony with all of creation. And I felt a bit like a scam, who am I? Imposter syndrome. And then, but as I traveled across the universe, eventually the Great Spirit or our Creator, God, showed me what needed to be done to bring peace for all humanity and to live in harmony with all of creation, which I realized today that is the new earth that I was praying for. I just didn't know back then what it was called. And I remember coming back to my body and I looked at my hands, and it's like I was like 95 years old now. My hands were all crippled.
It was a long journey across the universe.
Yeah, I know I traveled for 60 years and it was so much and overwhelming. I was like, how can I do that myself? Like there's just so much to do. I can't. Mm-hmm. And then an hour or two after, there's a hawk that landed on the tree that was hanging at the edge of the cliff and told me that there was a lot of people that had the same vision, that had piece of that vision as well, and we were all to come together and create the new earth together. And I didn't have to worry for that. And see, you're telling me the story where you had a similar vision, and now
handedly, like, oh my God, this is so much work.
Yeah, it's just so overwhelming, and so for most people, they'll just say like, oh, it's just a thought, like I'll just go back to my job and like whatever, right? I'll go on.
And then there's those crazies. We're like, okay, how do we do this?
Yeah, we're like, let's just do it, and no matter what, we'll walk towards the new earth, and we'll bring humanity there. Yeah. And now people that see you and I do it, well, now they're inspired, and now they're like, hop on the train, and that's why like how the New Earth collaboration has grown. We're bringing people from all of humanity. Now we're doing the New Earth collaboration circle as well, because I believe like it's not me, it's not you, it's like all of us coming together. It's a round table. Yeah. And now we can create for the children. So we take a child's dream of feeding the world, for example, mm-hmm. and now we're going to use that to go to our friend's Andrew's orphanage in Uganda, where he's taking care of over 200 children that their parents passed away by AIDS. And he was himself in that situation when he was a kid. And now he decides to love those children, to care for them, to give them education. And we want to help them at the orphanage. So of the child dream of feeding the world, now we want to bring all of humanity together to grow, teach the children permaculture gardening so that they can grow their own food and they can sustain the whole village. And with that, we can plant plants that will do textiles and cotton and grow coffee and cacao and macadamia nuts, and now we can develop the whole community and give hope and purpose to the community. And now all the children of the world are coming together to support that mission. And now their parents, and this is where we inspire and change the adults that have been like told too many times no, stop dreaming and just work. Now we can inspire them.
Marry for love, marry for money, don't work that job.
Yeah. Get good credit, buy a house, have a few kids, and get them to pay into the system, and you know, because that's how it works, and that's okay. That's the old ways, but now we're creating the new ways, the new earth, where I feel I've met people on my journey that were they said their mission was to take down the system, like we're going to crush the government and we're going to take over.
I said, feel like a lot of us are in our own way, and it doesn't have to be like us blowing anything up. Yeah. Like literally, but it more figuratively, because the problem with The Matrix, like the movie, is that people don't know that they're in it, because it's literally a program of collective consciousness that we've just come to accept as reality, and people, that is their whole reality, right? It's like shattering when you find out it don't. But it's like people like you and like me who have seen something and we're trying to bring it into existence. We're manifesting it. Because before I went on my Latin trip, actually, I was working with a Native American who's still a really good friend of mine, and two other girls, and they were trying to bring something like this documentary. It was called Wake Up to Life, and we wanted to get people, because at that point I didn't really understand the Matrix like I do now, but we just realized people were asleep to life. That was basically the concept in the Matrix, now that we can say it like that. But we wanted to wake them up and to get them living their dreams and just vibrating, with vitality, with passion, like in their truth. And that's what happened before I went on the trip to Latin America, which is where I had my spiritual awakening. But that is what planted the seed for me. And so it's really, that's why I wanted to have you on here today, because people, especially the younger generations, not necessarily even kids, but even people just now starting their careers, they don't care so much about making money. They want job satisfaction. They want freedom. So it's like there's already that shift. But imagine they could do all that, but have this amazing impact on humanity and leveling up consciousness and stuff. So it's so possible, but it all starts with all of us. It's not one of us doing it for everybody. It's like finding our tribe through resonance.
And like you said, I believe people want more, children want more freedom, and they want to enjoy their life and all, but they also want to make an impact, and they it's important for them. And if it's the company they work for, they want them to have a social cause aspect to it. And I think that's so important. And that's why we're starting with the children, because children care. They care about each other, they care about humanity, and they can each make a difference. And when their parents see that their child is doing that, they want to give it a chance as well, right? I know when Wayne brought people to clean beaches and forests, how good you feel after you've done it. You pick up one piece of trash that's not yours, how good you feel about it. Well, Angela, there's so much trash in the jungle here in Tulum. It's horrible. And now I'm talking with people that led an organization for children here, because we collaborate, right? We don't compete. And to bring all the children together, we want to go clean the jungle, because that's what's important. Once people see it, what are the children doing? And it might go on the news or not. But when people see it, they'll start acknowledging that the time they threw that trash was maybe not a good idea. And they'll get education that way through inspiration.
Yeah. People just don't even realize how big of a problem it is. Anyways, I really wanted, because we kind of brought it up a few times, your journey across Canada. So tell us about the moment that you decided to leave with just $18 in your pocket and a mountain bike. Not a horse this time. This was a mountain bike. What was going through your heart at that time?
Well, it's just because I did not have a horse at the time, so that's why I took a mountain bike.
I went to Volkswagen. That was my dream. Mexico down to Argentina, one of those Volkswagen.
Yeah, me too. Actually, this is what I discussed. So I was at my dad's cottage in northern Quebec, and we were heading for a canoe camping trip for 3 or 4 days. And when we drove to the First Nation village, I don't call them reserve because I really hate the sound of reservation. So when we drove to the village, I saw on the board, there was a big board, and it showed a picture of 2 young and missing women. And I remembered from the many years before, I used to watch the news, and I remember seeing all those women disappearing and the involvement with the police. And it just put something in my heart. I have to do something about it. And during the canoe camping trip, I remember we would hear thunder coming, and it was getting closer and closer, and then the lightning would strike and then thunder immediately. So you're very close. And we were just at the end of the third portage of the day, a kilometer walk through the forest with canoe on the back and the gear, and the thunder was just there, the lightning, and we had to just paddle through a swamp and get to the beach to the other side. And my dad was at the front with my ex's son, and I was just there on the kayak by myself on the swamp, and the thunder is boom, 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 and I'm oh my God, this is going to be dangerous. And then there's a crane, the bird that flew over me, and it told me get to land very soon because you got to get to safety. And so during this whole journey and this trip, I got signs, and if you live and being around the natives, you got to listen to the signs and listen to the animals, because they speak to you and they bring you messages from our creator. And so I just made it on the beach when I saw the lightning crash right in the water next to us. And during that trip, just when I came back, I'm like, I got to do something about those missing women. And I called the chief of the village and I said, I want to do something. And like, would you let me? And he said, okay. So he gave me the okay. And I still didn't know what. And the next day I was on the cycling path in the forest, and there was a big raven that flew in front of me for like 5 minutes in the straight path and told me to head west towards the mountains. And so I was just talking with my dad and his wife about I want to get to the mountains, and saying like, I'd like to have a Westphalia, a Volkswagen like you, because my grandparents did it when I was 1 year old. They traveled for 4 months with their Westphalia to Mexico, and they live with the native communities there. And I wanted to do the same. And my dad said, well, you're broke right now. Like, you just went bankrupt. You have $18 in your bank, and it's like, you can't do it with the Volkswagen. But then I'm like, but wait, I have a bicycle, and I have my legs, and I have my heart. And I just decided to go the next day. I just packed everything I had, which wasn't much. And then I got help along the way, and I just started biking, and I didn't know what I was doing. Every morning I would wake up, just like, look where the sun is and head west. And the further I went, the more I stopped, because the more I felt it was important that I spend time with the communities. And I started writing with Every Child Matters shirt. I kept the shirt on for like 2 years. I washed when I could find wash, but that's been a journey that was exceptional. And I remember when I was in Southern Ontario, in Tobermory, about to take the ferry to Manitoulin Island to get to Northern Ontario. I was waiting early in the morning because I was there the night before, but because of COVID reasons, they said like, you cannot board the ship because you need an appointment. I'm like, it's just me and my bicycle. I can board like a ferry, but they wouldn't let me. So I had to wait to the other morning. I had met people during the day. They said, hey, if you're stuck tonight, you can come sleep at our house. So I did. I went through the forest at like 9 p.m. in the dark, went through a swamp with my bike, and I ended up in their house because I didn't have a GPS. And and then the next morning, while I'm waiting for the ferry, there's an elder that comes to me and he says, I'm watching you, and I've been carrying something in my pocket for 4 years now, and I knew I had to give it to somebody one day. And he gave me this little bag of sacred tobacco. And this elder was so important in my journey because he taught me about the natural law. He taught me about the Great Belt of Peace and the peacemaker, and like a lot of native stories from 6 nations. And from that day on, my journey completely transformed. And my goal was not to get to Vancouver anymore just before winter, because I was at the end of the summer now. And my goal now was to connect with the people. So I just let the guidance, which led me to become a firekeeper, to live in a teepee for a whole winter, keep the sacred fire. I built a snow igloo for myself, lived in it for 2 weeks. I got evicted by the police because at the end of 2 weeks, yeah. I woke up in the morning, it's like 6 a.m. and somebody's kicking my feet that are like at the entrance of the snow igloo.
That is so funny.
And my friend's like, Guillaume, the police is here. You got to get out. It's like, get out. There's like 4 police cars in front of the house. Yeah, it was quite a story.
Oh my gosh. Like, how does that even work? You know, it's literally like,
I don't know. You can't plan that. Yeah. Because everybody that I met, I would like, at that house that we were protecting with the sacred fire from my friend being evicted. Because she was like, well, we signed treaties in 18 something, and where us natives don't have to pay taxes to the government, right? But then she was asked to pay taxes on her house, so she didn't want to pay them. So long story, it made a lot of ramble in the news in Northern Ontario. So I was part of this for the whole winter, and protecting her home. And I don't know where I was going with that, but it's okay.
I just wanted to ask, you mentioned the green belt. Is that the green belt around here? You know, like when you go on the highway and it's the different land points and stuff. Is that the same green belt?
I guess I think there's like
actually like this is just like a perfect example of like the matrix and the green belt is some of the most fertile like soil and land in North America, and we have such a threat to our food systems because of the degradation of the quality of soil due to like monocrop culture, pesticides, whatever. And this is like the small little remaining plot that is still really nutrient dense, and the quality of our food, it depends on the soil, right? And it's so funny because it's this sacred land and you know, so beneficial to us, you know, it's like we need oxygen to breathe, you know, we don't need Wi-Fi, but yet they want to turn it into condos, like doing really, and it's like people can't even afford condos in Toronto, like why are you going to do this? But that's just like the matrix where it's destructive and unsustainable, and this is what we need to shift away from, because if people knew the value of that land, not just the monetary value, but the value of life,
the oxygen value, the value of like all the wildlife living there,
you know.
We just think in dollar sign in the old earth, and then that's okay. People are stuck there, and they'll learn from what we build in the new earth that we can do this all sustainably.
And that's how it's really just going to be. It's going to be, you know, 5D or 5G.
And the people in the 5G, over time, when they see what we're building, like I even reached out to
like, why would you want to be here? You could be here.
You can be like living happily ever after in a beautiful environment that's respecting for nature, respecting for each other. Why not? And you can live as abundantly and probably more abundantly in the new earth than you can in the old earth.
Yes.
And so why would people not want to move? Like I was saying earlier, that I met people that want to crush the system and take down the government. I said, what do you think is going to happen when you do that?
When you fight the system, when you fight anything, you're bringing attention to that, what you don't want.
That's true. And when you take it down, then there's anarchy. And do you think that people today are ready? You think people are ready today to like have no more electricity, no more internet, no more government to tell them what to do? Like they've been trained to listen to the man up there. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen when that happens? Like the people who are stronger, they're going to take control, and then you're going to live into dictatorship. So I said, I'd much rather build a new earth, and when the people are ready to transition, they'll do it. And just we do it peacefully, and we do it with love.
And that's what's so beautiful about, you know, reconnecting with, you know, indigenous wisdom and native teachings, and just, you know, because if the grid goes down, God forbid, they're the people that will survive. Yeah. You know, because they know how to live with, on, and in harmony with the land. They know how to create fire. They know how to, you know, and so many of us were so dependent on this construct that if something happens, we're just like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and it's and it doesn't need to be that way. It's just that we are so far removed from our natural state, which is to be in harmony with nature.
Yeah, exactly. And you just reminded me the story I was telling, why I was telling it about the fire in front of the house. Is because while I was there, over 1,800 kilometers away, I don't know how much that is in miles, but it's far. There's a gentleman, while I was keeping the secret fire one night, there's a young guy that came into the teepee, and he was just out of rehab, and you know, he needed like love and support, and so that's what we gave him. And then he told me his story, and then we realized that he was from the First Nation village Kitsiganzibi, where I had seen the posters of the women, the young girls that were missing. That was his cousin. And we like hugged each other and cried, and like I realized throughout my whole journey how much we are all connected as humans.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. So I just wanted to, you touched about how children are going to be kind of the inspiration for the new earth. Yeah. But what about the collaboration between elders and nature? How do you see this all kind of coming together?
Yeah. Well, this is what the new earth is about, is that we got to respect the wisdom from the elders. They've lived a long life and have accumulated a lot of wisdom. Now, not everybody that calls themselves an elder is an elder, because some are in the old earth, stuck in the old earth as well. So we got to pick and choose your good elders. And then
just old.
yeah, and we respect that, and everybody I feel is a part of the puzzle that is humanity. So everybody has something to contribute and can come with love in their hearts and be part of the new earth and build it together. But now we're all coming together, and to support the children, we go to the elders of the village and we ask them for knowledge. Like the project we have in Uganda, we're not going to go in the village, and I'm not going to come in as this white man like with angels that's trying to save everybody. You know, like the save will happen from the people there, from the elders, from the children, and they're going to save themselves, right? We just give them the tools to do it. And this is what the new earth, building the new earth, is all about. There's a lot of prophecies from elders that have been shared with me about this happening now. There's a lot of people I spoke recently who had visions or dreams, or had spoken to somebody that had told them in 7 years, humanity is going to be completely transformed. And I know now that in 7 years, we will have built the new earth together, because through this collaboration, things have already started changing, and things are all like I said before, the new earth is already there, and we just have to step into it.
Yes, and it's like building it. We're building it with our collective consciousness. Yes, and this is how, I guess, more than building it, but yeah,
and this is how we create, and this is how our dreams are, like, because it's always the present, right? There's never a time where I say, hey, it's tomorrow right now. No, it's always the present. So in the present, with our dreams, we create. And as we come together with our dreams and share them and co-create together, this is why I put together, like last night, I just opened up online the New Earth Collaboration Circle, where all the visionaries, the dream makers, the change makers, the
entrepreneurs,
the purpose-driven entrepreneurs, the light workers, can come together, because we need to stop. Like, oh, this guy is doing the same thing I'm doing, so now like I need a better funnel and better like way to compete. No, like if this guy's a healer and you're a healer, well, let's heal together so that we can like elevate each other. And this is what the New Earth is all about. So this is why we want to build this community online and meet in person as well. In the future is to bring humanity together on this massive roundtable that is humanity, so that we can spend our energy elevating each other and supporting the dreams of our children of a better world.
Totally. So the New Earth movement is built on unity, and for humanity where it stands right now, we all have to consciously move past fear, separation, judgment, which are all ego-based, lower vibrational survival mechanisms where we are in competition, through the love portal, the heart portal, into collective purpose and awakening and empowerment. And you actually said something that I really liked about give them the tools to heal themselves, because there's like, we're not really here to save anybody, but we're here to empower people to remember their own divinity, their own power, because like we all have a purpose, right? And that we're here to save somebody, that's so egoic. No, we're here to help them up.
Yeah, exactly. We elevate them and we show them like, here's the door to the new earth, and it's your job to walk through it. Because I can talk about for days like what's on the other side, but if you don't go to the door and see it and want to step through that door, I cannot force you through it. So this is why we're reaching out to people, seeing if it's in their heart to make that change. God, while I was praying, told me like, and forgive everybody. If people have hurt others in the past, like forgive them. They have a chance now today. Like if they lead a cartel, or if I even reached out to one of the Rothschild on LinkedIn to say like, hey, here's a chance to build a new earth together. And I know you have a lot of wealth, but maybe you have a dirty conscience. So let's come together and just forgive, give a chance for everybody to walk with love and co-create a new earth together. And I think that there's people that are going to transform their lives. You know, just like our friend Wayne, like his story was so inspiring. How he was a drug dealer. He used to sell cocaine and have a gun and shoot people in the street. And then when he spent time in jail, it changed, completely transformed his life, started meditating and leading meditating workshops in the jail, and then leading people out of jail while he was out and helping them transform, and then started the eco movement, cleaning beaches around Toronto for a few years. Like, look, everybody can be forgiven, and everybody can come together for this movement, this cause, this building this new humanity, the new earth.
Yes. If you think that Mother Earth, Gaia, could speak for you right now, what one thing do you think that she'd want us all to hear before we sign off?
Well, Mother Earth is our mother, right? And each of us are children. And Mother Earth, or God, or the Great Spirit, loves us so much, each of us, and feels that each of us is so important. And like I said before, we're all pieces of a puzzle, and it's when we come together that magic happens. So it is time for each of us to stop thinking about what's oppressing you right now or the problems you have, and just come together, and you'll see the transformation that we can do together.
Focus on the solutions.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Guillaume, thank you so much for walking this path with such heart and courage, and also for reminding us that even in the event, the smallest act of love can create such a massive ripple across the world or across Canada. Everyone listening, may today's conversation inspire you to trust your own inner voice, your intuition, and the one that's calling you to create, to serve, and to help heal the earth through love and compassion. And if this episode spoke to your spirit, please like, share, and subscribe. It truly helps this message reach more people around the world. And you can connect with Giam through his New Earth collaboration and New Earth Children's Foundation. And you can find more chakra-powered conversations at feedyourchakras.ca. And do you want to just leave your handle? I'll put it in the description afterwards. But if people want to connect with you, how would they do that?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angela.
No worries. How do you want people to connect with you if they want to?
Connect with me on Facebook, so you know my name, Guillaume McMartin. That's the easiest. We have a WhatsApp group, so I don't even know how. So connect with me on Facebook. It's going to be easier.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Peace, love, and infinite blessings.